Evening, and thank you for joining us. Carly, it's, I guess, the biggest first sign of spring. People are actually getting ready to golf.
I think I'm going to tee off on Sunday. Looking forward to it.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Gerard, is the weather going to cooperate for that?
The weather will cooperate on the weekend. We just got a little precipitation possibly later tonight to deal with. But let's see what we're looking at right about now. 14. We've cruised there since about 4 o'clock this afternoon. 52% is that humidity. The wind's out of the northwest at about 11. And you can see for the normals this time of the year, the expected high may have been 15 on the average, but we're sitting at 14, so that's all good. So what we're looking at as we compare to the Lakeland region, they've been getting a light shower and going down to 9. Actually got to a high of 13 today, just at around 3 o'clock. And in the Battlefords, as usual, enjoying the better of the sunshine. Some cloud covers the afternoon is going along. Battleford's temperature sitting at a plus 18.
Early this morning, RCMP responded to a fatal motor vehicle collision north of Lloydminster on Highway 17. A semi-trailer and a Jeep collided head-on, and police say the driver of the Jeep was killed on impact. The driver and passenger of the semi were not injured. RCMP say all people involved were wearing seatbelts and the roads were dry. Officials are still investigating whether alcohol was a factor. RCMP closed the highway for several hours while a highway reconstructionist examined the scene. The name of the deceased has not yet been released. Lloydminster RCMP and rescue crews were called out last night to the scene of a collision involving a 6-year-old girl on a bike who was struck by a car. The incident occurred at 56th Avenue and 50th Street sometime around 6:50 p.m. While members conducted their investigation, the victim was given treatment at the scene before being taken to hospital with what RCMP described as significant injuries. The investigation is still ongoing, and the RCMP had the area cordoned off for over 4 hours following the mishap. The victim's condition was later described as stable, and arrangements were made to have her transferred to Saskatoon for further evaluation. We will update this story as more details become available. A plan was revealed at City Council this week that should alleviate some of the pressure on the Lloydminster RCMP. Council is adding an auxiliary officer to bolster the ranks of the local detachment.
We're using some, specialized resources that might be less costly to perform some of the work on behalf of the RCMP or behalf of the city. And we appoint this person so that they have certain rights and certain accesses to information and certain clearances.
Officer Scott Schneider will deal with specific tasks to free up more time for the other RCMP members.
He's not going to be doing special SWAT units. He's not going to be busting up drug teams. But he would be doing the normal, regular street-level enforcement in concert with the RCMP.
The use of auxiliary or peace officers has been successful in larger cities, and Council is confident that this will be successful in Lloydminster. Parking in Lloydminster's downtown core has been an issue for some time. Over the last 5 to 6 weeks, the city and Streetscapes have been working together to uncover trouble spots and target repeat offenders. Lloydminster bylaw officials have been out issuing warnings to motorists who've had their vehicle parked longer than 2 hours, but that will now cost them. Shauna Roshik reports.
You may have seen one of these orange tickets left on a vehicle in the downtown area recently. These were warnings for violating a 2-hour parking limit. Beginning in May, parking tickets will be issued, and last night, city councillors increased parking penalties.
The new fines are in effect May 2nd, so that warning program could disappear at any time, where we will actually start ticketing downtown.
In the downtown area, the fee has increased to $50. Parking in a residential area for longer than 48 hours or parking an unhitched trailer have also increased. However, incentives to pay tickets early will save motorists money and time.
If we have just one set fee of, say, $75, if there's no early prepayment that might get them in the door a little quicker, then perhaps that fine doesn't get paid. Then we've got to go through the process of going through court, etc.
As Lloydminster grows, parking will continue to be a problem, and Stasiuk says the city will continue to enforce these bylaws.
We want to make a statement. We want to show that we have some teeth, and if you're going to abuse downtown parking or trailers, what have you, it will cost you.
Shauna Roshik, Newcap News.
Despite rising gas and food prices, overall, the border city is the least expensive place to live in Alberta. And that came from a 2010 study done by the government of Alberta and bodes well for people looking to live or work in Lloydminster. Kathy Lee has the details on how things are going for one new local business owner.
Karen Weber has lived in the border city for the past 28 years and isn't surprised that Lloydminster is #1 for the least expensive place to live in Alberta.
Less gas, running your children around. It's just cheaper housing and more affordable for everyone.
The 2010 Government of Alberta survey looked into 34 communities in the province, and because of where Lloydminster is located, it's coined the sweet spot.
We're not remote, yet we aren't right adjacent to one of the major urban centers. So we are the sweet spot. We're not too far away to make it super costly, and we're not right next door to get that impact.
Housing prices in Lloydminster are going to be a better deal because you're not seeing the same sort of mad rush into real estate like you are in Canmore or Fort McMurray.
This sweet spot also makes it an ideal place to start up a business.
Particularly if you're a business owner. And if you can get employees here and you can prove, as compared to a Wood Buffalo, a Grand Prairie, those kinds of places, or the big cities, you can prove that you can get all the amenities for less cost and your dollar goes further.
And Weber's strictly Amish furniture store has benefited as it's thrived in the last year of being open.
After the first 3 months, there was not one quiet day in here, and people were so excited to see something unique, something different, something that they could buy in their own town rather than having to go away, and are all willing to support a store like ours.
Kathy Lee, New Cap News.